Sandra had always loved baking. It was something that she had been interested in from a very young age. As a little girl, she would spend hours in the kitchen with her mother, learning how to make cakes, cookies, and pies. Her mother was an excellent baker, and she would always encourage Sandra to try new things and experiment with flavors. As Sandra grew older, her love for baking only intensified. She would spend all of her free time reading cookbooks and experimenting with new recipes. She loved the way that baking could bring people together and create a sense of warmth and happiness. As she got older, Sandra's dreams of opening her own bakery began to take shape. She knew that she wanted to share her love of baking with others and create a place where people could come together to celebrate life's simple pleasures. Sandra's passion for baking was not just a hobby or an interest, it was a part of who she was. She loved the creativity and the challenge of trying new things. Baking was not just something that she enjoyed doing. It was a way of expressing her creativity and bringing joy to those around her. Sandra's love for baking began at a young age, when she would spend long hours in the kitchen with her mother. Her mother was an amazing baker, and she had learned everything she knew from her. Sandra would watch her mother mix, knead, and bake with skill and precision, and she would always be eager to learn more. Together, they would try out new recipes, experimenting with different flavors and ingredients. Sandra's mother was patient and encouraging, and she always made sure to involve Sandra in every step of the process. They would spend hours talking, sharing stories, and making memories while baking together. Sandra's mother taught her many valuable lessons about baking that she still remembers today. She learned the importance of measuring ingredients accurately, the art of kneading dough by hand, and the magic of combining ingredients to create something truly delicious. But more importantly, Sandra's mother taught her the joy of sharing food with others. She would often invite friends and family over to enjoy their baked goods, and Sandra loved seeing the smiles on their faces as they savored every bite. It was this sense of community and connection that fueled Sandra's passion for baking and inspired her to open her own bakery one day. These memories of baking with her mother are some of Sandra's most treasured possessions. They remind her of the love and care that she received growing up, and they continue to inspire her to create delicious baked goods that bring joy to those around her. Sandra's passion for baking was not just a hobby or a pastime, it was her calling in life. And as she grew older, she knew that she wanted to turn her passion into a profession. She dreamed of opening her own bakery, a place where people could come together to enjoy delicious baked goods and create happy memories. The idea of having her own bakery had been on Sandra's mind for years. She had always loved the idea of running her own business, and baking was something that she was truly passionate about. She spent countless hours researching different recipes and baking techniques, dreaming up new flavor combinations and designs. Sandra knew that opening a bakery would be no easy task. She would have to find a suitable location, create a business plan, and secure funding. But despite the challenges, Sandra was determined to make her dream a reality. She began taking business classes and attending workshops on entrepreneurship and baking. She even started selling some of her baked goods at a local farmer's market, building up a small but devoted following. And while she knew that there was still a lot of work to be done, she felt confident that she had the skills and the passion to succeed. For Sandra, opening a bakery was more than just a career move. It was a way to share her love for baking with others. She wanted to create a warm and welcoming space where people could gather to enjoy delicious treats and make happy memories. And as she worked towards making her dream a reality, she knew that she was one step closer to achieving her goals and making her mark on the world of baking. As Sandra continued to work towards her dream of opening her own bakery, she knew that finding the perfect location was key. She began scouting out possible locations in her town, looking for a space that would be both affordable and accessible to customers. Sandra wanted her bakery to feel warm and inviting, so she was looking for a location with plenty of natural light and a cozy atmosphere. She also needed a space that was large enough to accommodate her baking equipment, a seating area for customers, and a small kitchen area where she could prepare her baked goods. After conducting extensive research, Sandra finally found a space that she thought would be perfect. It was located in a busy shopping district, with plenty of foot traffic and easy access to public transportation. The space was a bit smaller than Sandra had initially hoped for, but it had high ceilings and large windows that flooded the space with natural light. Excited by the possibilities, Sandra began working with her landlord to secure the space. She negotiated terms and worked on getting all the required permits and licenses for her business. With the help of her family and friends, she began transforming the space into a cozy, welcoming bakery. It wasn't easy. There were a lot of late nights and early mornings spent painting, installing equipment, and stocking shelves. But Sandra was determined to make her bakery a success, and she was willing to put in the hard work necessary to make it happen. Eventually, after months of hard work, Sandra's bakery was ready to open its doors. As she looked around the cozy, inviting space, she knew that she had found the perfect location for her dream bakery. She was excited to welcome customers into her new space and share her passion for baking with the world. When Sandra began her search for the perfect location for her new bakery, she had a clear vision in her mind. She wanted a space that would be both welcoming and comfortable, where customers could come to enjoy delicious baked goods and relax with friends and family. And after an extensive search, she finally found the perfect spot. The space was smaller than she had initially hoped for, but it was cozy and inviting. The walls were painted a warm shade of beige, and large windows let in plenty of natural light. The space had high ceilings that added to its sense of spaciousness, and there was a small nook in the corner where Sandra had set up a cozy seating area complete with comfortable chairs and tables. The overall atmosphere of the space was warm and inviting. It was the kind of place where people could come to escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and enjoy some delicious baked goods. While it may not have been a grand, sprawling space, it was perfect for Sandra's baking and her vision for the kind of bakery she wanted to create. Sandra knew that the space was going to require a lot of work to transform it into her dream bakery, but she was ready for the challenge. She was excited to begin the process of creating a warm and welcoming environment that would be the perfect backdrop for her delicious baked goods. With a clear vision and a lot of hard work, Sandra was ready to turn her dream into a reality. When Sandra found the perfect location for her bakery, she knew that it was going to take a lot of work to transform it into the cozy little space that she envisioned. The space was pretty bare bones when she first saw it, with plain white walls and no fixtures or appliances. Sandra immediately began planning out the renovations that the space would need. She knew that she wanted to create a warm, inviting environment, so the first thing on her list was painting the walls a warm, inviting color. She chose a soft shade of beige that would complement the natural light that poured in through the large windows. Next, Sandra had to install all the necessary fixtures and appliances. She needed to set up a small kitchen area where she could prepare her baked goods. And she also needed a display case to showcase her beautiful creations. The seating area also needed some attention. She wanted to create a cozy environment where people could sit and enjoy her baked goods. Sandra poured all her heart and soul into the renovations of the space. It was a lot of hard work, but it brought her great satisfaction to see the transformation of the space. She painted the walls herself, and her family and friends helped her to install the fixtures and appliances. They worked tirelessly to put in the necessary equipment and furniture, and soon the bakery began to take shape. But Sandra wasn't satisfied with just the basic renovations. She wanted to create a space that was truly special, a place that people would remember and come back to time and time again. So she spent hours poring over design ideas and shopping for decorative items that would give her bakery that extra touch of charm. Finally, after months of hard work, it was time to open the doors of her dream bakery. The space was warm and inviting, and customers could not help but feel the sense of comfort and ease from the moment they stepped through the door. Sandra's hard work had paid off. She had created the perfect space to showcase her delicious baked goods and give people a taste of her passion for baking. With the renovations of her bakery complete, Sandra turned her attention towards creating the perfect menu. She had always been passionate about baking and had experimented with all kinds of flavors and recipes over the years, but now she wanted to create a menu that would capture the heart and soul of her bakery. Sandra spent long hours poring over cookbooks, searching the internet, and experimenting with different ingredients and flavors in her kitchen. She knew that she wanted to create a menu that would feature classic favorites, but also incorporate some new and exciting flavors that would set her bakery apart. Her experimentation led to some interesting concoctions. She tried combining sweet and savory flavors, using unexpected ingredients like lavender or rosemary, or adding a twist to classic recipes like adding a chocolate ganache to a traditional pound cake. One day, Sandra hit the jackpot with a recipe for a cinnamon roll that was soft and gooey on the inside and had a perfect balance of sweet and cinnamon flavor. She knew that this would be a hit with her customers, and it soon became one of the most popular items on the menu. Sandra's creativity didn't stop there. She experimented with all kinds of baked goods, from muffins and scones to cupcakes and cakes. She used only high-quality ingredients like real butter, pure vanilla extract, and organic flour to ensure that her baked goods tasted as good as they looked. Over time, Sandra's experimentation and hard work paid off. Her bakery became known for its delicious and imaginative baked goods, and customers came from far and wide to taste her creations. Sandra had found her niche in the world of baking, and her passion and creativity shone through in every item on her menu. Creating the perfect menu was a daunting task for Sandra. She wanted to offer an array of baked goods that would delight her customers and keep them coming back for more. She started by brainstorming different ideas for the menu and began experimenting with recipes to perfect each item. It was a process that took time and patience, but Sandra was determined to get it right. She began by thinking about the classics, croissants, muffins, and cupcakes, to name a few, and then thought about how she could put her own unique spin on them. For croissants, she experimented with different flavors of fillings such as Nutella and cream cheese. And for muffins, she tried out various combinations of fruits and nuts. Developing this menu was a labor of love, and Sandra relished every moment of it. Her passion for baking and experimentation was evident in every bite of her delicious baked goods. The menu was not only a testament to her culinary skills but also to her creativity and willingness to take risks. Customers kept leaving rave reviews, telling her how much they loved every single item Sandra put on her menu. Every day, loyal and new customers would wait in line at her bakery, anticipating their turn to take a bite of one of her delicacies. This gave Sandra the satisfaction that all the hard work was worth it, and that her passion for baking could bring joy to so many people. Sandra's menu at her bakery was filled with an array of delectable treats that customers couldn't get enough of. From classic favorites to new spins on old classics, there was something for everyone. Here's a quick rundown of some of the goodies on Sandra's menu. 1. Croissants, flaky, buttery, and stuffed with delicious fillings like chocolate, almond paste, or ham and cheese. 2. Cupcakes, her most popular item. Sandra's cupcakes come in flavors like chocolate, vanilla, carrot, red velvet, seasonal, and many more. Customers love that they never leave the bakery without trying a cupcake combination they hadn't thought of before. 3. Cakes. Sandra's cakes were truly something special, each one carefully crafted and made with high-quality ingredients. Everything from strawberry shortcake to lemon coffee cake to carrot cake was available and baked to perfection. 4. Pies. Her pies were an ode to her childhood memories and are loved by everyone. Her apple pies and blueberry pies were just too good to resist. 5. Cookies. From classic chocolate chip to everyone's childhood favorite oatmeal raisin, Sandra's cookies were a hit, baked to perfection and crispy on the outside while being chewy inside. 6. Muffins and scones. Sandra's muffins and scones were a great pairing for a cup of coffee in the morning. These items were not only perfect for breakfast, but also a mid-morning or mid-afternoon treat. 7. Breads, soft, warm, and straight out of the oven. Sandra's bread offered a taste like nothing else. From French bread to whole wheat bread, every choice of bread was freshly prepared every day. Sandra poured her heart and soul into every item in her store, making every morsel a perfect combination of love and exceptional flavors. She made sure that each item was made with locally sourced fresh ingredients and was baked with utmost precision. Her customers knew that they could always rely on her for an impeccable experience that would keep them coming back for more. Sandra had put in a tremendous amount of work into her bakery, from creating a winning menu to decorating its interior design, and now the day of opening had arrived. The night before, Sandra had spent the whole night checking and reading everything, from the oven's temperature to making sure everything was arranged on the counters in an orderly fashion. She barely slept that night, anxious and excited about opening day. On the morning of her big day, Sandra arrived at the bakery way before the opening time and made one final check of everything. And after running a final check, she took a deep breath, unlocked the door, and prepared herself for the rush of customers. As soon as she had unlocked the door, she saw a group of people already there, waiting to see what the buzz was all about. Sandra could hear the whispers and sounds of customers gasping in awe at the sight of her beautifully decorated store. She let out a sigh of relief and walked up to the counter to greet her first customer. The first batch of croissants was fresh out of the oven, and the smell was intoxicating. Sandra's very first customer couldn't resist the enticing aroma. They placed an order for a Nutella-filled croissant, followed by a muffin, and then a cupcake with caramel filling. As more customers kept coming in, Sandra's nervousness turned into confidence as the compliments kept pouring in. Sandra was thrilled to see her customers enjoying their baked treats and complimenting her baking skills. It was a moment of pride for Sandra, seeing her bakery come to life with a happy crowd of customers coming in and out. The successful opening day that had exceeded her expectations. As the day came to a close, Sandra let out a sigh of relief as she went around the bakery, was already anticipating the possibilities for the next day. Her hard work had paid off, and it was a successful beginning for her dream of owning a bakery. And as they closed up the store, Sandra was content knowing that her bakery would bring joy to many others in the days to come. Sandra woke up early on the day of the opening of her bakery, feeling both excited and apprehensive. After months of preparation and hard work, her dream of owning her bakery was finally coming to fruition, and she could hardly wait to welcome customers into her store.